Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews. I don't want to make this video. I don't want to even do this video. But because of the stress that I have been under, because of the nonsense I have seen, I feel that it is necessary. What happened to George Floyd was wrong. It was murder. Nobody is contending that. The protests, the peaceful protests, are right. There should be protests. What happened was wrong. The cop was not immediately arrested as he should have been on scene. And there should be protests. But what there should not be is violence. You do not go and burn people's livelihoods to the ground, especially when there was no relevance to George Floyd in those buildings. The precinct that was burnt down, that cop who killed George Floyd worked at, not justified. Just because one corrupt cop commits an act of evil does not mean you blame the entire institution like the media and many politicians are doing. I am not living anywhere near a city, and I am thankful for that. However, I have family and friends who live in cities and near them, near the rioting hotspots. I have a friend who lives in New York City who I see as a brother. And I am worried every day for him as long as these riots continue. And my piece of shit governor and the mayor of New York City will not do a damn thing. They will not quell the rioting. They are for the riots. They are for the violence. They are for the murders of innocent people. And yes, I am saying that with conviction. I believe that my governor, Andrew Cuomo, and the mayor of New York City, Bill de Blasio, are all for the violence that is going on in this country. How have I been? Not good. Origins, not good. I didn't want to make this video. But I have to be brutally honest, and I feel the need to say this out loud. Again, let me reiterate. What happened to George Floyd is wrong. But there are two things that can be true at once. I have not seen any confirmed reports from a police statement that stated that the man who killed George Floyd did it because he was black. I have not seen any of that. And until I do, I will not see this as a racial crime. The only thing that they have going for them was white cop, black man. That's it. Now, as for the military being called in, the National Guard being called in to quell the rioting, I believe it should have been done days ago when it all started. I am sick and tired of seeing my president, Donald Trump, on Twitter rage tweeting. What he should be doing is his fucking job. I did not elect the man or vote for the man to go onto Twitter and bitch about stuff when the country is burning. As for all of these people who want me to bow and get on my knees and kneel because of some misperception of white privilege. Richard B. Riddick said it best, "I bow to no man, nor will I bow to any human on this planet. When my day of judgment comes, I will bow before one person or one being. And right now, I have not seen that being. Whether they be female, male, whatever, the divine being that I believe in is, I will bow to them when I die and sit before them or stand before them for judgment. I will not bow to anyone on this earth. I will not acknowledge that I have white privilege because I don't. It is a myth. It doesn't exist. And for anyone to tell me that I am racist for saying that I am somehow just being a part of the problem, I will look at you with pity. Because you only want to see what you want to see. You don't want to see the reality. Many of these idiots who listen to people like Don Lemon on CNN, who listen to any of the mainstream media and believe any of it, and I am also talking about Fox News, you are all victims of Wizard's First Rule. And Wizard's First Rule, for those of you who don't know Terry Goodkind's Sword of Truth series, states that people are stupid. People, not the person. People. People are stupid. They will believe any lie told to them either because they want it to be true or they fear it to be true. And I have many people I know personally who are also victims of Wizard's First Rule. And it is truly a sad thing to watch. Every time I go onto Twitter over the last few days, I end up logging off after 2 minutes. I am constantly reporting every political trend I see as spam. I wish they would get rid of the trending section on Twitter like they did on Facebook. And like I said, folks, for those just joining, what happened to George Floyd? It was murder. That cop murdered him. I am not going to dispute that. But the violent protests, I will always be against. They have murdered innocent people. They have attacked people because they are white. And this is not just black people that are attacking white people. It's other white people attacking white people. So I'm not going to turn this into a whole race thing. And the news is no longer the news. They are not reporting valuable information to everyone in order for everyone to interpret and make their own decisions on. No, they are trying to brainwash people. I saw a video that Odin's Movie Blog shared where this guy goes up to a woman coming out of a store. You need to get on your knees and you need to say that you have white privilege and all this bullshit. If somebody, and I say this with absolute conviction, if anybody comes up to me and says that I need to do that, whether they be a white person, black person, or otherwise, I will tell them to go fuck themselves with a cactus dildo. Because I do not have white privilege. I am not racist. To anybody who does acknowledge that they have white privilege, you are actually racist because you have now placed yourself above another person based on orientation of skin color. That is the second definition of racism that I grew up with. That was actually in a dictionary. I wish I had that dictionary so I could show you. So, with all that being said, I am doing my damnedest to focus on other things. However, with my autism and my ADHD, it is not easy. I am unmedicated. I do not want to go back on medications because I was very inhibited by them. They didn't help. They hindered. They retarded my ability to cognitively live. But sadly, because I also do not have meds that help me focus, it's harder to do what I do on here, which is pump out videos for everyone to watch. And I know that this is not my normal topic, but hey, since everybody else who is in the entertainment business on YouTube that I have admired and whatnot are giving their 2 cents, I figured I'd give mine. Shellback, Decepticon King, Soul Assassin, Apollo Patriot, Origins, and who else is in here? G-Fan. It's all good to see you. I do see the chat, but I'm not really going to acknowledge the chat in this time because I wanted to say what I need to say, and then I will acknowledge the chat. So yes, 2 things can be true at the same time. I am white, or many things can be true at the same time. I am white. I do not have privilege. I am on fucking welfare, people. I get a set amount of money each month to live off of. I do as much work, physical labor, as I can without pay so that I feel that I can earn that money. I cannot physically work at at other stores. I've actually tried. I end up not being able to retain the jobs. So basically, I have to make do with what I can and have. But I will tell you this right now. What happened to George Floyd was wrong. I am all for the peaceful protests, as are 80% or 98% of law enforcement as a whole. That's why you have seen police officers peacefully protesting. Because they have actually come out. You will see local news showing police officers coming out and say, yes, we condemn what that cop did. You won't see it on the mainstream media because it's against their narrative. And it is shameful, absolutely shameful, that I have to wake up every day, go downstairs, and see that bullshit on the news because, unfortunately, my landlady happens to believe it all. She is on that side where she thinks that all of the violence is good, and then she's going to complain when stuff she orders hasn't arrived. Well, because of the shit that you're cheering for is going on, deliveries are put behind schedule from Amazon and other places. I was supposed to get my Teespring shirts that I ordered from RK Outpost and Odin's Movie Blog today. I haven't received them yet. I'm guessing it's because of all of the riots and whatnot. Not all cops that cop who did that to the man is made all cops look bad. Yes, Apollo Patriot, you're absolutely right. All the cops who are against that kind of actions have all come out and said, we do not support what that cop did. And as for the violent protesters, I believe that because you are all committing crimes and violence towards police now, you are actively attacking police officers. I'm sorry, but to any and all law enforcement who are being attacked, if I was the state governance or the state governor, I would say if you fall under attack, you are authorized to use any methods necessary to quell the rioting. And that means center mass, drop your ass. These people are not understanding that their actions have consequences. Peaceful protests, you can do that all you want. I am all for it. It is a human right. It is a constitutional right, if last I checked. But violent protests, as accordance to the Insurrection Act of 1807, the military, the U.S. military, and the federal government are allowed to step in and quell any action that is perceived as a danger to the people of the United States. Now, other people are going to talk about the Posse Comitatus Act of 1838, I believe it is. Well, unfortunately, Posse Comitatus is overwritten by the Insurrection Act. The Posse Comitatus does not stop, or rather, let me rephrase. The Insurrection Act is the exception of the rule to Posse Comitatus. Posse Comitatus basically means the government cannot, or the federal government cannot step on the toes of the state governments or governance when protests get out of hand. Well, the problem is these protests have gotten too out of hand, and therefore it does fall under insurrectionists. These people are attacking law enforcement on site. So yes, the federal government does have the authority under the Insurrection Act to stop the violent riots and actions. And it sucks that the U.S. military is going to have to train weapons on civilians. It is a last measure that should never have happened in the first place. But unfortunately, it has to. So yeah, I felt that I needed to get that shit off my chest. I am not happy about anything that is going on in my country right now. How you doing, Lyndon, Angry Vader? It's good to see you guys. Antifa is a terrorist group. You're absolutely right, Apollo Patriot. And believe it or not, under the definition of terrorism, Black Lives Matter is as well. Back when Black Lives Matter first came out, and they were doing all the pigs in a bank or pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon bullshit back under our previous president's administration, they were acting in the definitive sense of the word terrorism. Terrorism is defined as actions of intimidation and violence, either for personal or political gain. The moment that the previous president set or legitimized BLM as a government organization, he also unwittingly made them a terrorist organization. BLM was started by a white guy, I believe. I don't know if that's true. I don't care. It doesn't matter. What matters is all lives matter, including black people, white people, Native Americans, Mexicans, Canadians, Australians, and everyone. All life is precious. It sucks that what happened to George Floyd. Again, it sucks, folks, but I am not blind to the law. He should have been arrested. Like I said earlier, folks, he should have been arrested right then and there when he had his neck on that guy, on George Floyd, or knee on George Floyd's neck. He should have been arrested right then and there, that cop. His partner should have stopped it. George Floyd, the only thing he did wrong, I believe, was a fraudulent check or a counterfeit check or something like that. That was it. That's all he was, or that's all that they arrested or went after him for. But putting your knee on a person's neck like that, that's wrong. So yeah, folks, I understand the outrage. I understand the screaming and whatnot. But again, I have seen no absolute evidence that the cop that killed George Floyd is a racist. And until I see a police report stating so or stating such, I will not believe it. Two things can be right at the same time. A cop killed an innocent man, and it wasn't racist, regardless of the fact that the cop was white and the guy was black. What I saw was a corrupt cop murdering an innocent man whose only crime was writing a bad check, apparently, or trying to pass it off as a good check. That doesn't warrant a death sentence in my country. And to anybody who thinks it does, you are seriously twisted. So yeah, now that I've gotten that off of my chest, I am going to say one last thing again to anybody who says I need to get on my knees and say that I have white privilege and that I am responsible for the slavery in my country 400 years ago to 160 or 155 years ago. Go fuck yourselves. Sit on a cactus and twist. Gargle with broken glass while you're at it. I ain't gonna do any of that shit. I bow to no man. There was an Aboriginal teenager that threatened to break a cop's jaw in my city, so he leg sweeped him to the ground and arrested him. Now footage is being used to fuel the racism BS. I'm sorry to hear that, Lyndon. I believe it is possible. It was a possible counterfeit $20 bill. Well, whatever it was, it didn't deserve a death sentence. Now, let's try to make this a more positive stream. In fact, actually, I'm going to end this stream and start another stream, guys. So yeah, I'm going to start a random stream in the next few minutes. So if you guys want to talk more, I want to keep this one topic only. So yeah, folks, that's going to be the end of this stream. Stay tuned in the next 5 minutes for a next stream, possibly even less. Anybody catching this on the replay, you all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, what you think. If you want to come after me and say that I have racism and whatnot because of my thoughts on this matter, go right ahead. Your words will fall on deaf ears, and most likely your comments will be treated as spam and be deleted because you came after me with no basis of fact. Anyway, folks, this has been Orange Hat Reviews. Stay humble, and I'll see you all on a random stream in the next few minutes. So 3:10. So yeah, 5 minutes from now. Take care, folks.